Good morning, guys. Good morning and happy Tuesday. Welcome back to our channel. My name is CG. Welcome back, to the second day of the week. I wish that you're having a good kickstart, during um the early of March. I don't know about you, but I'm having this, well, slightly emotional, but still progressive, constructive one to kickstart my week. And the intention that I'm going to set for today's live stream is simple. Today we're going to be precise. Today we're going to be analytical. And we're going to be careful. And more importantly, I think I'm going to set the keyword of today's trading. It is called deliberative, right? Deliberate. We want to be deliberate. We want to be doing things, placing a trade by our own will, all right? So this is what we're going to do today. Now, we're going to start from me playing some nice song so that we can chill, we can just have fun, and we're going to try to analyze the market together. All right. So, good morning. We have Mark, we have Ong, and Grace. Good morning as well. So, how are you guys feeling? How are you guys feeling? Are you guys feeling, having a good day? For me, well, the weather is good in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. So far, so good. Sunny day, chill vibe, and can't wait to really kickstart today's trading session with you by analyze, spotting some trade, and perhaps make some money together. Okay. Well, I'll say gold looks like consolidating. Well, we're definitely going to check on that. But before that, let me set my MT5 right here. Just a quick recap on yesterday's trade. Okay, so there you go. Now, before we start, right, before we start our day, we're going to do a quick recap, all right? We're going to do a quick recap and we'll see, how does yesterday trade really perform. All right, so a quick recap on yesterday trade. Now, for your information, yesterday we did place like we did place one position in gold and another position in euro US dollar, right? I'm not sure about you guys, but this is the trade that we made yesterday. And finally I went from losses to break even, and from break even to finally make some profit in this experimental small account, which is a profit of $300 plus plus. So it's not bad, it's actually not bad. And it is actually a sign, of asymmetric profit that I mentioned early on in our class. So I mentioned a lot of time trading, taking losses in trade. It is part of the business, and we are not really looking for accuracy. So we're looking for asymmetry. Every time when we try to place a trade, we are trying to spot for potential trade that allows us to have that room to make asymmetric profit so that we can not only recover the losses that we take before, but also to make some profit as well. So yesterday we did two positions. The first position would be gold, which is what you're looking right now. And the second position would be Euro US dollar. And right now, before we start to analyze a new market, we're going to do a short recap and the reasoning behind yesterday trade so that we can learn trade at the same time. So guys, are you guys ready? If you guys are ready, click yes in the chat box. We're gonna start our session today with a very good energy. All right, so guys, a quick recap on yesterday trade. Yesterday, same thing, we started off from while analyzing the gold market. And then we always start from the daily time frame. Now let's take a look at what happened yesterday, right? So yesterday, we, same thing, we try to analyze market state rather than market direction. For us, I don't know where the market direction is going to be. I don't know that is it going to be bull. I don't know that is it going to be bear. To me, bull and bear is none of my business. To me, the current state of the market, what is actually happening right now in the market, is much more important than is it going to be bull or is it going to be bear. Okay, so the very first thing I keep on saying again and again, and I repeat myself again and again, is that every time when you're in the market, when you open a chart, the very first thought that you emerge in your mind must be precise and engineered. You see, if the very first thing when you open the chart is if the very first thing that you're thinking in your mind is about, can I buy? Can I sell? Well, you're probably in the way to fuck yourself up, right? Sorry for the curse word, but if the first thing that you think when you open the chart is, can I buy, can I sell, do we have signal? If these are the things that you're thinking, guys, you're on your way to fucked up your very own wallet. Okay? And I want you to understand, it took me some time to really, learn, to relearn how to trade, and finally using a hypothesis that works for decades, okay, for decades. And that is where I finally start to, be more stable, calm, and mature as a retail trader. So, what is the very first thing? What is the very first thing that you should be thinking when you open the chart? Well, the very first thing that you should be thinking, you should be asking yourself is that based on what I'm looking right now, based on what I am looking right now, not before, not after, right now, what is the current market regime? What is the current market state? That is much more important. Okay, so yesterday when we analyzed gold, what is the current market state? The very first thing that you need, the second thing that you need to spot is that, is the market currently in agreeable, right? And yesterday we did, make, we did make an analyze, and then we see, during the gold market, it has been bullish for quite some time until this long pullback right here, decide to to absorb the buying power of the buyer, and sellers start to push down the price, and then buyers slowly, regaining the strength to this point. And when it reaches this point, something interesting really happened. What is the things that is interesting that happened? Well, finally, the market found a place for balance, right? It went from imbalance to balance. Okay, this is the chart pattern we're talking about. It went from imbalance, right? huge expansion, break through the ceiling, and then go down again, and then huge imbalance, huge pullback, right? Huge pullback, and then it start to go down, go up, go down, go up, go down, go up, and finally it finally reaches a point of balance, right? So this is what we are talking about. So it went from imbalance to balance, right? It finally reaches a price that has that kind of balance structure. And if you're in my VIP class, then you understand. When we spot a trading zone that is balanced, while we try to monetize, we try to make money from price acceptance. And acceptance from where? Well, acceptance of this entire zone, right? So cut the long story short, and then we start to spot the point of control. There you see, when you zoom into the price, you will have a really good glimpse on, well, where is the price that is in, well, it's already balanced, right? Agreeable, right? So up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. So there you go. And then we went to the 5-minute charts. Okay, we went to the 5-minute charts, and then we spotted a potential trade, a buy position yesterday. Okay, and I'm gonna show you guys how does it actually play out. Okay, so here's the reasoning behind yesterday trade. Well, I spotted the price actually penetrate through this level right here, and then it can start to climb back up. It shows that the buyer is giving us a signal where the buyer is is stronger based on the defend that is being executed. So you see, where is the sign of defend? Well, the sign of defend is simple. This is the sign of defend. A full candle that is above the point of control being formed, and then this is the place where I see buyer showing strong signal of buying power. So we open a trade here, and then it start to play out. So let's take a look at what's going on yesterday. Replay, start new. All right. Okay, we'll keep this for another time, guys. I forgot to update my TradingView account, but let's just let it slide for a while. Apologize for the confusion, but yeah, you get the idea now, right? So this is what I'm talking about. Okay, this is what I'm talking about. Where buyer successfully defend the level, it start to climb all the way back up again. So therefore, we make some profit during this trade. So as for Euro US dollar, the same logic applies as well, right? As for Euro US dollar, also a very strong sign of buying power. Very strong sign of buying power. You see, yesterday, with a quick recap, we can go to the 4 hours, right? And then we spotted that, when the price is at below this zone, it reaches a point where we say it is a low volume node where there's not a lot of, buying and selling going on right here based on yesterday's price action, right? Based on yesterday's price action. And then, usually when a price is at, a low volume node here, usually what happens is that the price will always tend to go back to the point of control, which is what happened yesterday. You see, based on our forecast and analyze yesterday, it happened exactly as we foresee yesterday. Therefore, we open a trade, a buying trade right here. You see, it play out, right? It went all the way up, right? It went all the way up and touches the TP, and we successfully did two really nice trades together yesterday. Okay, so yeah, guys, do you want to relearn how can you really make sustainable profit, stable profit by using the lens of auction market theory? If you want, click yes. Right, today I'm going to give you a free live course right now to you guys. Okay, it's like a free live course right now with you guys that I only teach to my VVIP clients in our channel. Okay, it's always happening in a one-on-one, but right now to I'm going to teach you guys, how do we actually trade from auction market theory. If yes, if you're excited, click yes in the chat box. Okay, and first thing first, what I love to do is really try to understand where is the current market going. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to erase all the drawings so that I'm not affected by the bias. What happened yesterday doesn't equals to what happened today. Okay, so today is a brand new day, so we are gonna do it again. Okay, it's gonna use fresh chart, we're gonna use fresh movement. Okay, so Surya say yes, I want to learn more. Alvin say yes, Charlie say yes. All right, so first thing first, guys, when you're in the trade, when you're in the chart, the very first thing is not to predict direction. I want you to start to debug. I want you to try to erase that concept of going into the chart and asking yourself, is it buy or is it sell? Forget about all those things. The very first thing when you go into the chart, the only number one pattern that you want to look for, remember this, the only first number one pattern that you want to look for is this. You want to look for the latest balance that is going on. And what do I mean by balance? Okay, I'm going to draw a few patterns for you. This is what we call balance. Okay, balance means price overlapping. All right, this is called balance, something like this. You see, this is called balance. Okay, this overlapping, sideways looking, ranging market is where we want to look for balance. Okay, this is going to be balance. And why do we want to look for balance? Well, it is simple. We look for balance is because that we want to understand what is the current or the previous zone where the buyer and seller shook hands and trade peacefully. That is lesson number one. Okay, that is lesson number one. You want to look for a place where buyer and seller agreed to trade peacefully. So here you go, right? This is number one, and this is number two. Now, of course, when you spot, a new balance that is forming, that is always a good sign that is going to be a good trading day. Okay, so there you go. Now, after you spot the balance, what you're going to do next? You want to like really try to map it out. Okay, so first thing first, what you want to do is to draw out, the balance zone. You want to understand where the zone is, right? So you're going to draw it out, make it slightly precise, it's fine. There you go. You want to look for where is the current, right? The current auction that is going on. There you go. Right, somewhere around here. So there you go. This zone right here is the highest probability where the current point of control is. Now, the next thing that I like to do is to zoom in a little. Okay, really to zoom in a little and use one of my favorite indicators, which is the fixed range volume profile, to see, what am I actually drawing is it the same as what is actually happening? So we want to start from this one. You see. So there you have it, right? A very obvious point of control. Take a good glimpse. So the previous point of control is here, very, very far away. And currently what we want to see is that right now, we can zoom in a little. Zoom into the 4 hours so that we can have a better drawing. So you see, start to have overlapping. So sometimes when the daily chart is, didn't give me the detail that I want to see, I will zoom in a little like a microscope and to the 4 hours. And I'm going to use the fixed range volume profile. And I'm going to stretch it all the way. This is the pullback, the beginning, all the way from the beginning to the end. There you go. Now we have, a solid information where currently, where is the previous point of control is. Okay, so the previous point of control is actually here with really high trading volume. This is where we want to, really draw it here so that we can have a good glimpse. What I love to do, and I love to use a rectangular line because it shows me the exact point of control price range, rather than just focusing on one price. So right here, there you have it. Okay, now the next thing we want to look at is, where is the price currently, wrestling with. Now if you take a look at the, fixed range volume profile, you have like 1, 2, 3. Now this volume right here is actually a volume that is much more thinner, right? You can feel that it is extremely thin. And currently the price is around here, okay? So when the price is here, it actually means that it is considered, right? It is considered in the lower volume node, LVN, right? Lower volume node. So what do I mean by lower volume node? It means that price are usually easily being penetrated in this kind of level. So what we want to do is to draw a thin line, okay? Very low volume node. Okay, so let me change the color a little. And I'm gonna make it into maybe, yeah, this color. This color would be suitable. Okay, so a thinner color means that from a micro point of view, I'm gonna say is a low volume. Okay, a low volume node right here. Okay, and here we have few really high volume node. The highest one is actually here. This is actually point of control. Here we have point of control. So the next thing we want to take a good look at is the high volume node. So the highest volume node is actually still the point of control. So it's somewhere around here. Okay. Now the next thing we want to do is to zoom in a little and take a look at the structure. Currently still a very nice market regime to trade agreeable rotation model, which is I'm on, right? So it is a very good market regime to trade price acceptance. Very good regime to trade. So there's very less compression, but we're gonna zoom in a little. See, right? Very good structure to trade. Currently, market is trading smoothly, even though the compression is forming and the price is comfortably trading around this zone. Okay, so we didn't see any strong sign of buyer overpowering seller or seller overpowering buyer. What we see right now is that buyer and seller trade peacefully in this zone, which means that currently we found ourselves a whole new zone to trade. Okay, now, but here's the thing. Right now, this is a low volume zone. The question that we need to ask ourselves, is there a compression forming? So if there's a compression forming, it means that it will want to challenge the low volume node and penetrate through it. But it seems to me it is still a good opportunity to make a short trade right here to trade on price. Yes, risky say arm on zone. So this is ARM on zone, agreeable rotation model zone, where we can make money from price acceptance, where the price is gonna play here a little bit, come back here, come back here, come back here until who knows when, right? So it is actually a really good setup for us to, play with the balance. Price went from imbalance to balance, balance to expansion, expansion to find a new balance again. So this is actually what the price is doing. So despite of the market volatility that is currently going, I really love this kind of setup. You see, if you really go on the 15-minute chart, seller regaining the power, which is something that is good for us. You see, seller regaining the power, successfully defend. And I would really place a short trade in gold right now here. Okay, it is actually a really good time to make a short trade. Now, before that, guys, I want you guys to stand by because we are actually gonna place a trade for gold. Okay, we're gonna place a trade for gold right now. You see, it's always good, and it is always good, to find an agreeable rotation model where we can start to make some sweet profit together. So, yep, we're gonna start today. I'm gonna be slightly ambitious. I'm gonna go for, larger lot size. Okay, and I'm gonna go sell. So yesterday I opened 0.03, which is a very well, careful crafted trade. But today I'm gonna do slightly different. I'm gonna go for like 0.5. Okay, I'm gonna go sell. All right. So I did a sell trade, guys. I did a sell trade at this price. Okay. I did a sell trade at 0.5 lot at this current price. So we're gonna do a sell together. All right. I'm on, guys. I'm on. So the entry is 85.110. Okay, that would be the entry. So really nice entry. And I'm gonna set the stop loss somewhere around here. I'll let it have a little bit more room. It's fine. Little bit more room. Yep. Stop loss set at 5194. Okay, so this one we can aim for a longer stretch. Really nice. You see, plenty of room to make money, guys. Plenty of room to make money. If you're willing to hold longer positions, I would actually aim for 1 to 4 for this one. Actually, a really nice trade, guys. Amazing, amazing setup. So I'm gonna go for 5121. It is meant to be a longer position that I'll hold. Right, so it is gonna be sell, okay? It's gonna be sell. Okay, so let me take a screenshot, okay? Selfie time. Okay, got the selfie. Now it's time. I'm gonna send it to you guys in the group. There you go. All right, we have a sell, okay? We have a position right now. Okay, so the hypothesis is simple. Okay, the hypothesis is really simple. First thing first, price has already found, the zone that is agreeable to trade. Okay. Second thing would be we already have a point of control where the market tend to appreciate and try to test it back here. Okay, so this is the second hypothesis. And the third hypothesis would be we are currently at this zone right here, which is the low volume node, which is price don't really, agree to trade around here unless there's any like big news happening, or else what happened through market behavior is that it will tend to went from here to come back here again. And I think the most important signal that we get from this trade is that not only that it is shows good sign, it also shows us that right here we have seller showing a successful defense. So when seller is showing a successful defense, it means that the buyer is starting to weakening and seller is trying to absorb, all right? The seller is trying to absorb all those selling power from the seller. So right now, this is actually what the market is currently doing. So gold, US dollar, right now, really nice time to do a sell trade. Okay, really nice time to do a sell trade. So this is the hypothesis that I'm having, and I hope that you guys like it. All right, I hope that you guys really like what you're listening at. So we're gonna use the same logic to spot other market to trade as well. But right now, this session has been great to us. Okay. Now, more importantly, other than feeling happy, excited for a potential profitable trade, it is also more important to stay humble and understand that when is your hypothesis going to be wrong. So I will be wrong if the market penetrate through the low volume node. Well, if the market penetrate through the low volume node, went from here and then it penetrates here so high that it start to form a new zone. Okay, if it does this, which is eventually it will do, okay, if the market do something like this, it means that my hypothesis is wrong. It is that simple. It is gonna be like, it's either gonna be like you're right or this is wrong. And I remember a famous quote by George Soros: trading is about, not about like always being right. It's about how much you lose when you're wrong and how much you win when you're right. So need to be inclusive. You need to be, you know, you need to be in a mental state where you understand and you embrace the part of the business is that you are making a bet, and a calculated bet. So right now, based on the market structure, what you can see is that we are currently, using the hypothesis to make a trade that is in our favor. But if this actually happened, it means that we are wrong. And it is totally fine to be wrong, guys, because we cannot forecast the market. We cannot actually understand where the market is going. Okay, so this is what I wanted to tell you guys. So if this happened, it means that I'm wrong, but it also means that we might have, a new potential to make money. That's all. Okay, so hope that you guys really understand what I'm trying to deliver. Not only focusing on profit only, but also understanding the logic behind, my setup. Point of control. Here we have low volume. All right. So let the market do its thing. Meanwhile, we're going to focus on other pair. So we have friends saying that I bought silver yesterday and totally forgot to close the trade. Just check MT5 today. Wow, congratulations, bro. Congratulations. All right, so next we're gonna go for, well, let's go for New Zealand. It's been a while since we analyzed New Zealand. Let's take a look at New Zealand. Yeah, let's go for New Zealand. Let's take a look at it, the price of New Zealand. And why do I want to check out New Zealand? Because in my mind, I'm thinking that if I want the vision, the visualization that I'm using is this. Sometimes I'm not choosing the pair because I think that there is going to be money being made. The mental trick that I use is that I'm thinking of, if I were to pick a location for holiday right now, where would I actually go? And just now I'm thinking of Australia, Canada, and I'm thinking, why not we go to New Zealand? Must be a good place for camping, for some fishing, for some nice food, meet some nice people. Let's go New Zealand for holiday. So that is what I'm having in my mind, and that is the reason why I go to analyze the market. So the idea is this: because I want to go to holiday by using the profit that I make, right? So therefore, it reminds me of the reason why we want to make money and trade. We want to make money not because of we want unlimited money. We want to make money so that we can live life in our own terms, right? We want to learn trading is because that we want to live life in our own terms. It's that simple. Okay, it's that simple. So, oh, Surya say I'm working holiday in New Zealand few years ago. Wow, it must be good. I never been to New Zealand. So Surya, can you like share with us how is it like, staying in New Zealand? Is it a good place to be? I believe it's a good place to be. Right, let's go to New Zealand. Yeah, I believe it's good. I believe that it's a nice country. You know, I really believe that it's a nice country. Ooh, seems like there's a movement. It's cool. Expected movement is fine. All right, let's take a look at New Zealand. And Manson say, I love New Zealand, not like Singapore. Very messy. I mean, isn't Singapore one of the cleanest country in the world, guys? Manson, are you from Singapore? Oh, this is a nice song. Hey, let's go to holiday, guys. What a nice song, right? All right, New Zealand US dollar. Now let's take a good look. All right, let's take a good look. Now I like what I see. The reason why I like what I see is because that we sort of, going into New Zealand US dollar while the price is starting to show signs of overlapping. When the price is showing sign of overlapping, it means that currently the market, it went from constant war zone, constant negotiation and fight to a price point that the buyer and seller finally say that, you know what, let's cut this, let's make peace. And when there's a sign of overlapping, it is always a good sign to make calculated high probability trade. So you see, when you actually think from a very joyful mental model, where New Zealand and US dollar, I'm thinking of, I want to go there on holiday. And that is why I pick this pair. It is not technical. It is not something that is, it is not something that um, like based on fundamental analysis. No, It is based on pure joy. It is based on curiosity, joy, fun, right? That is what we're talking about. So right now, we're gonna take a good look, right? A good look at the current state of New Zealand and US dollar. Very first thing that we want to take a good look is this, an overlapping, a solid overlapping price zone. Okay, and then we're going to use the exchange volume profile. There you have it, right? Sometimes 4 hours too messy, not too messy, like too abstract, not really understand how can we, right? We do have it. Oh, well, I wouldn't consider that, this is like a solid overlapping balance because it has, that strength of expansion still. You see, small balance and then expansion and then go the way up. At least we have like two overlapping, so I'm going to use that as a signal. But still, we need further analysis. We still need more information. So we have a point of control here. Same thing, to draw the point of control is to understand where is the gravity, right? Where is the gravity of the current price? So this is the point of control. And we will change the color to black color. Okay, so we have a point of control. And the next question would be asking yourself, where is the price heading? What is the price currently doing? So it seems to me that the price is currently sort of like, going into a zone that is much more agreeable. But still, the war between buyer and seller is still kind of fierce. It is still slightly chaotic, slightly fierce. But that is none of our business. What we want to see is the current market state. So we want to see as if this entire chart right here is an auction. And what is the auction going? Well, the auction is showing that buyer and seller is having an equal strength, that they can negotiate. But for me, what we want to do is to position ourselves in the contestant that are much more powerful right now. So, yep, still not in a point to make a trade. So we need to zoom in a little to take a good look. And there you go. This is the previous point of control. But this is irrelevant anymore. Okay, this is the previous point of control, but it has went down to form a new point of control. So rarely that is going to go back up again, like temporarily. It at least going to play for a while. sign of compression, burst out, punch down again by the seller, and testing around this zone. So now let me double check it. So here, this one, I'm gonna change the color. Okay, so this color actually shows me, where is the lower volume node. There you go. So we have, there you go. So now we have free zone right here. So this I'm going to change the color a little bit. I'm going to put green color. Maybe green. Okay. So I'm going to show you guys why do I want to draw all this line out. Okay, it is actually a very good sign. Okay, so right here we have LVN, stands for low volume node, and right here we have high volume node, HVN. Okay, and right here we have POC, which is point of control. Okay, so usually, how do you really take a look at, LVN, POC, and HVN? Well, it's that simple. When the price, go all the way up and hit LVN, usually, buyer don't really, the auction didn't really prefer to stay around here, and it will have a higher probability that it will come here, come back here, and then start to discuss a little bit, POC, shuffle. So it's either gonna go up again, or it's tend to like going back down here in the HVN. Okay, now the next question would be like, why going back? Well, why going back to, sorry, right? Why it wants to go back to the HVN? Well, it's simple, because based on auction market theory, what we spot right here is that the higher volume node price still want to come back and test this level. So if it reaches POC, they will like negotiate again. But if we have a good signal where the price actually do something like this, okay, and seller actually show signs of selling after here, I'm gonna do a short trade here. Okay, I'm gonna do a short trade here. So this is really good, good zone for us to trade. So let me zoom in a little. Okay, all right, seems like gold is doing its thing. Now before we continue, let us go back to gold and take a quick look. Not bad. Not bad. But I'm gonna hold the position. Now when the price actually reaches somewhere like here, okay, when it reaches 5153, I'm gonna set to break even and let it flow. Okay. Now back to New Zealand US dollar. Nice song. Oh, guys, 5 minutes, okay? Not 5 minutes, 1 minute. Let me go grab something. All right, I'm back. Okay guys, I'm gonna tell you my trading setup for New Zealand US dollar. We want to go New Zealand for holiday, okay? We want to go New Zealand for holiday. So how am I actually gonna do this trading setup? Here's the idea. Right, here's the idea. Definitely not going into the trade now. I'm gonna walk you through the entry. I'm gonna use the 15 minutes to search for entry. So currently we're in the 15-minute chart. So we want to look for the level, which is this price range. Let me find a nice entry. Okay, got it. Now we go back to 5 minutes. All right, now we have it. So here's the idea, guys. For New Zealand US dollar, is it a nice trade? Well, is a nice trade when a certain criteria happen. Okay, it's gonna be a nice trade where a certain criteria actually happen. So here's my setup. Okay, so we have a lower volume node, which the price rarely will start to go up again. What happened, which is a more higher probability, is what will happen is that the price will went from here and start to play around this zone a little, and then it will start to test this zone. Okay, mark my words. Okay, tomorrow when you look at the charts, you will actually see the logic behind. Now the reason behind that is because that this is a high volume node, and usually, buyer and seller tend to respect that. And after the shuffle of POC, so point of control is a place where they start to negotiate. Okay, start to negotiate you to reshuffle the momentum and the regime of the market. Now my setup is going to be this. If if it went down and it start to form a candle that shows me a successful defend, okay, if it shows me a successful defend between the buyer and seller, okay, then right here I'm gonna do a sell trade. Okay, I will do a sell trade when the seller show me that it is having much more strength than the buyer. So here I'm going to do a short trade. Okay, a sell New Zealand US dollar somewhere here. Okay, but I need to see more momentum, and I'm going to do a long shot. There you go. All right, so this is the setup for New Zealand US dollar. Now right now, let us go back to the gold chart and see what's going on. Well, still, showing good signs of selling power. Still showing good signs of selling power. It is fine. I'll let it float a little. Okay, so now we have gold and we have New Zealand. Yep, we have gold, we have New Zealand. One more pair for analysis. Okay, any place that you feel like you want to go holiday. We don't think about numbers. We don't think about volume. Okay, we don't think about fundamental analysis. We just think about turning your dream into reality. So guys, I want you to make a vote. Close your eyes and picture where do you really want to go for a holiday? And type it in the chat box. Where do you want to go for holiday? And we will try to turn that vision into a reality by trading, the currency of the country. Okay, so this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna trade the currency of the country that you want to go for a holiday, because it adds some meaning to it. You need to plan for a holiday. You need to have a budget for a holiday. So going for a holiday, it means that you're actually having fun, but at the same time, you're being rational, right? Do you want to stay in a 3-star hotel or do you want to stay in a 5-star hotel, etc.? You get what I mean? So what I want you to understand is sometimes, by choosing a pair to analyze, just by thinking about a holiday, it is actually a good sign. You see, we are looking at New Zealand US dollar. We have an opportunity to trade. So I might use the money that I earn from this trade to buy a flight ticket to New Zealand all the way from Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. So Arya say that she want to go to Japan. All right, so let's vote. Okay, do we still have a few more countries? Arya say she want to go for Japan. So do we still have other country other than Japan? Is there anybody interested to Australia to look at to pet some kangaroos? Um, nice. Kalini is typing as well, guys. Don't feel shy. We should interact with each other, okay? We should interact with each other more. Well, we are not trading Korea. It is considered an exotic pair. So Kalini say Euro. Well, Euro US dollar. Okay. So right now I need to ask myself, if I were to go to travel in Japan and Europe, where do I really want to go? Well, to be honest with you guys, I prefer to go to Europe. I prefer to go to Europe. Okay, I feel like I want to go to Europe, for shopping, bringing my wife to buy stuff, to buy her favorite bag, to have some good food, um, to enjoy life. So, yep, I'm gonna go with, Kalini. We're going to Europe now. Okay, we're going to Europe right now. We're going to Europe right now. Okay. But before we go to Europe, let's take a look at this trade. Really nice, really good sign. Really good sign of seller weakening. So let that float a while. Euro US dollar. First thing first, you know how we roll. We are going to Europe right now, and the first thing that we want to see, simple, overlapping. Right? We want to see for overlapping. So Euro US dollar overlapping, just like what we foresee yesterday. Here, overlapping structure. That is nice, right? See, clear. Well, I wouldn't say like it is the most perfect overlapping structure, but it is still considered overlapping. And for information, we are actually in the zone here, started here. Nope, this is too far. Okay, let's zoom in. Sometimes zooming in helps a lot, to really understand where is the overlapping zone. So we have two zones. This is the previous one, and this is the current one. Okay, so the previous one is irrelevant because of the breakout. They start to form a new structure. So we're gonna just take a good look at the current one. All right, so we have a volume control here. Need the black color. Mark a black color as well. Slightly thicker. Okay, there you go. So where is the current price? Current option, well, consider is trading in a higher volume node, which is, a lot of trade is going on here. So it is probably going to play around this zone. And the next would be marking out, where is the lower volume node. Remove it. Zoom into the 1 hour. Okay, the next, let's take a look at the strength of the pullback of the expansion. Well, you see the pullback is actually weakening, currently in a very, very low trading volume, which means it shows a sign where the buyer is actually weakening. You see, even though that, the buyer is showing strong signs of buying, but still right here, the signs of weakening buying power is being revealed through the fixed range volume profile. So it's forming a compression, which is something that we would consider as a signal. I rarely use this, but for this one, I'm going to make an exception.
I wrote a record about love, but love ain't my record. Ain't trying to be carved, I ain't trying to be settled. Monogamy, follow me. I'm honestly probably not the right guy. Love you till the sunlight comes up, till these drugs wear down. Will you bite my tongue for me? Could you right my wrong? Could you be my lung? Cause my heart's been stoned for too long. Your heart's been stoned for too long. Been stoned for too long.
Okay, sign of compression. Seller regaining that kind of power. Okay, here's what I'm gonna do.
The way you make it so hard for me to say goodbye. I think I wanna be around you for the rest of my life. I'm just living in the moment, having good times. I'll be moving with the motion for once in my life.
All right, not bad. Not bad as well. Okay, cool. Compression back to POC. Hmm. This is tricky. Compression back to POC. Almost the same logic, just like New Zealand US dollar. Currently, seller is regaining the selling power, absorbing the buying strength from the buyer, and then start to form a compression to challenge this POC. So the question would be, how strong will the buyer defend this move right here? So it's like Goku, Kamehameha, right? It's like Goku gathering the strength to use the power, to burst out. So here we can see it. Up, down, up, down, up, down. Slowly gathering, absorbing the buying power so that it can make one huge move. Now the question is, how do we know that it is a valid move? Now if it really penetrates through here, right? And what we want to see is when it tries to do this, we're gonna wait. Okay, you're gonna come here, and then it will have a pullback. Now, if the pullback then came back up here, if the pullback actually stay here and then start to form a new candle and here, this I would take it as a signal of a successful defense from the seller, which means that buyer, has failed, and I'm gonna place a bet for seller. All right, you can understand? Okay, so here, if I have this signal, I will definitely go for a sell trade. Okay, I'll definitely go for a sell trade if if the market actually show us that buyer is actually losing the strength. Okay, so this is what I'm looking at. Okay, I want this kind of structure to appear so that I can make a calculated bet. Now, vice versa. So what if it fails? Well, it fails, it's fine for me. Okay, if it fails, it comes back, right? If it forms something like this, and then it went from here, come back and test here again, I will take it as a signal for buy. Okay, so if it can be done both ways. Okay, or it can done here. All right, so yep, we can definitely try to make a trade. If it shows signs of buyer is still strong, it means that very high probability it's going to create a new zone. Okay, so if it's going to create a new zone, we're just going to ride the wave. All right, so for euro US dollar, it is probably good to wait a while and see what the market does. Okay, but for me, I'm looking at you know I'm looking at a compression that is charging straight to point of control, where it's gonna be go all the way down and form a new zone of balance, or it's gonna fail the structure and buyers start to roll. So it is coming to a point where the auction need to decide, hey guys, we need to decide where we want to trade peacefully. So this is what is actually going on in euro US dollar. So euro US dollar, while a really good asymmetric level trade, I would lean towards a sell trade. Because if I go for a sell trade, it means that I can actually profit more. You see, if I really spot, if we manage to nail this position, we have plenty of room to make money, you see? Plenty of room to make money. It is actually a really good bet. And if we do a long trade, well, it is not as favorable as, it is not as good as a sell trade. See, we can step profit right here. We still can make money, but if you really to wait it, if I can only make one trade, I will definitely go for a sell trade because it has plenty of room for me to enjoy the profit. So sell trade is much more favorable in Euro US dollar, and that is my opinion. Okay, so guys, so far you guys catching up. If you guys are catching up, click yes. Okay, so for Euro US dollar, prepare for a sell trade, but wait for the confirmation of the price to reveal does the the buyer is weakening, and is the seller successfully defending the zone. Okay, so that is what we are talking about. We want to really understand, is it powerful or not. So for New Zealand US dollar, all right, look at the details. So it reaches point of control. Same logic with this one. Okay, same logic with this one. If for this one, I'm only looking for a sell trade as well. I'm going to use the high volume node as my hypothesis. So let's take a look at gold. Nice. Currently still in our favor, forming a compression. Selling is still strong. We are looking for a second wave. Nice. Really nice structure. Anyone making profit from this position in gold? If yes, can show us show us the record, share the happiness, and to really inspire people in our community to understand that trading, if you learn it well, it is not that bad. Okay, it is not that bad. It is not as complex as you think. At first, yes, but with the right teacher, right guidance, you can learn trading in no time. So I have great confidence in gold, a starting position. It doesn't mean that I understand, how the market is going to work, but based on what we see, we do have strong signs of seller is really having that power, right? It's having that power to go down. So yeah, let's see how it goes. So far so good. Not a bad trade at all, huh? Okay. We are starting to make some profit from this small account. Nice. Now we go to Japan. One more pair, one more pair. We're gonna analyze four market today. Now we go to Japan. You're welcome, Navi. You're welcome. Now we go to Japan. You know what, guys? I've got to be honest with you guys. Right now, the flow state that I was in during the first few sessions is slowly going off. And what do I mean by flow state? So flow state actually means that it means when you're in a good form, when you're in a good state, right? That's what we mean by a flow state. So flow state it means that you're flowing like water. You're flowing um, harmo harmoniously with the market, with the position, with everything. And I was trying to analyze another market, but my brain is sending me the signal where the flow state of analyzing the market has passed. So usually this is where I start to like step back a little. I step back from the chart and I chill because we only need like two to three. We sometimes not two to three. We only need one really profitable trade a day to make it a good day. So right now, gold is doing the favor for us. We still have, you know, New Zealand, US dollar waiting to show their strength here. Okay. And we still have Euro, US dollar, you know, standby as a position. All right. So we have three setup right here. So for me, I am not going to be greedy. Even though I know as we progress, you know, the trade has become sharper, the eyesight becomes sharper, the logic, reasoning, everything is increasingly, you know, getting better and better every day as we trade. It is still very important to be respectful to the flow state. So for me, I've decided to pause this for a while and we're going to switch another topic. All right, we're going to switch to another topic and discuss about other stuff. Because right now, based on what I see, um, it is unnecessary for me to keep on chasing for another profitable trade. So right now we're gonna do something different. All right, we're gonna chill a little bit, we're gonna chat a little bit, and we're gonna like, maybe revive, something that I taught you guys early on. Now, guys, if you are actually, the student of my VIP group, then you know the teaching materials that I prepare for you guys is kind of unique. All right, I prepare things that not many teacher will do so. Okay, so now today we're gonna do some quick recap before our session ends. Okay, and I've decided to really teach you guys again, about the auction market theory. Now this time we're gonna go into much more detail, and I believe that you guys will have a better understanding after a few trading sessions with me. What is the hypothesis that I use? What is actually, the census that I lean on to make, and for you guys to have actually make money, make profit in this live stream. Congratulations. Now, first thing first, I want you guys to understand making profit difficult when you're using the wrong hypothesis. Okay, when you're using the correct hypothesis that has a high probability, trading can be very simple. And today, we are actually gonna dive back into the basics, the fundamental knowledge that I lean on that change the way that I trade forever. You see, you guys gotta understand, retail trading is a very noisy place. You have guru, you have indicators, you have news, you have a lot of noise. So in retail trading, the very first question that you need to ask yourself is that, am I learning something that is really legit? Because in retail market, everybody sounds legit, right? In retail market, everybody sounds legit. But am I really legit? Is the thing that I'm consuming really legit? That is the question that we should ask ourselves. Okay, that is the very first question that we need to ask ourselves. And for me, it is my honor to share with you what actually changed, the way I trade forever. Okay, so we're gonna talk about, live on this live stream so that you guys can enjoy as well, what my VIP clients and students learn during, during my class. So guys, I want you to understand the first thing is this. The most the way most people pick up trading is the reason why most people give up trading. And why do I say that? Because most people, when you enter trading, the very first thing that you see is actually, well, profits, right? You see the lifestyle, you see the confidence, but you never ever see the structure. And it took me almost 6 years to really understand the profit, lifestyle, and confidence is not something that will make me profitable. It is the underlying structure of the market that will make me profitable. So, what is the underlying structure? You've got to understand the underlying structure, is not about trend line, it's not about higher highs or lower low. The structure itself didn't give you the strength and the eyesight for you to be stable and calm when you're trying to trade in the market. So the structure that really gave me that shift, that snap to become a better trader is actually not news release, it's not price trend, it's not market momentum. Is I finally understand how and why the price actually move. And that is the aha moment that really gave me that snap, like this. Okay, it is giving me that snap, and that snap actually is to really understand price move to find agreement, not to confirm predictions. If you follow me through all of my live stream, you understand, for me, I never do prediction. I always try to understand what is the current market state. And the current market state is always in a state to find agreement. Okay, it can be, so I'm going to give you example, right? What do I mean by it is always constantly price move to find agreement? What do I mean by price move to find agreement? So let's get back to, the market, for example, right? We're talking about gold, okay? So price always move to find agreement. You see, now this is what agreement looks like. Okay, this is what agreements look like. Okay, it moves to find agreement until it reaches a point of control where most of the trade is being agreed to trade. And then it start to penetrate, to find, to move to another zone, to find for a new layer of agreement. So this is disagreement, which is what we call imbalance. And until it start to find a new zone of agreement. So price always find agreement. It moves to find agreement. Now, how did I actually change, the way of trading? It changed the way I trade because after I finally understand, this theory, I never ever try to predict the market again. Okay, so the secret that I want to share with you is actually not chart, not indicators. It's actually an auction. This is why I'm always talking about auction market theory. Auction market theory is a market, is continuous, it's an assumption, a legit hypothesis that the market is in a continuous negotiation of value. So price don't move to be right, they move to find agreement. And when agreement breaks, right, when agreement breaks and price start to surge, until a new value is found. It is that simple. Price don't move to be right, they move to find agreement until an agreement breaks, and then the price start to surge, and then until a new value is found. This is what we call auction market theory. And if you were to really, go back to the chart, and then you will have, the exact same structure I'm talking about. Price start to break, and then it start to find agreement, and then it breaks again until it start to find a new agreement. You get the idea? So this is the thing that I want to teach you guys. This is what we call auction market theory. And as an auction market trader, you don't try to predict up or down. You try to understand what is the current auction at. What is the current state of the auction? And that is what we are talking about. We want to understand what is the state of the auction. Okay, so there you go. Now price break, and then it start to find a new agreement. So for me, why do I want to, why do I want to place a BE right here, a break even right here? Well, it's simple because I'm not really sure that if the price actually touches this zone, will it start to penetrate and rebounds and start to find a new agreement? Okay, but I'm using a hypothesis where the price is actually, trying to come from here, 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 maybe play a little somewhere here. And I'm making a hypothesis that it will actually come back here, which is the point of control. So you need some holding power, of course, but more importantly, you need a good eyesight, a good hypothesis to give you that conviction. Okay, so we will see. You see, for me, I will definitely hold a position, and I will see how does the market goes from here. So if it start to go here, usually it will go back to point of control. Okay, so this is what I mean by auction market theory. And if you guys are in my VIP group, you understand, this is always the case. It is always what happened, in the market. So let's take a look at, the deck. So there you go, auction market theory. It is an assumption, a hypothesis for you to understand something that is way more upstream compared to forecasting higher highs and lower lows. We don't, as an auction market trader, you don't try to predict the market direction. You try to understand the market situation. So that is auction market theory. So the question that I have for a lot of students is that if the market is constantly surging, what exactly are you trying to predict? You can't really predict the market because the price is constantly searching for a new agreement. You don't know where will it go. So what does it change? It changed me from prediction to observation, from patterns to participation, and also from being right to being aligned, right? I'm always trying to align with where the market structure is. I try to participate in the auction where I find fit, and I try to observe before I do any forecasting. That is why a lot of time when you guys ask me, CG, is it a buy? Is it a sell? Is it stack? Is it like sideways? Is it ranging? When you ask me this question in the chat box, I don't give you the answer. It's because I don't want to predict. I don't want to predict. I want to observe. So when you ask me those questions, I will ignore you because I want to observe. If I try to explain to you, I'm not trying to observe, I'm trying to predict. So I'm training my eye and my mind to really observe what is happening in the market rather than trying to give prediction. So this is the thing. So here's a quick really recap about how does the market cycle actually move. It always went from balance, and then it goes to compression, and then expansion to to search for a new zone, and then a pullback to retract or reverse the previous position, and it start to form a new balance, and then it start to go on and on and on. So this is what I talk about the market cycle. Okay, so now today, you actually see my trading strategy. So I have two strategy, where the first strategy actually contribute to 80 to 90% of my profitable trade, which is the ARM, agreeable rotation model. And the second one will be a second wave probability, SWP. So most of my live stream, I'm using strategy number one, which is the agreeable rotation model, where I taught you guys about arm on and arm off, right? So what is an agreeable rotation model? Well, to really make it easy to understand, agreeable rotation model, we try to make money from price acceptance, okay? So for example, I'm going to show you guys, let's get back to the chart, okay? And am I actually using, the agreeable rotation model right here? Yes, I'm using the agreeable rotation model right here. So you see, right here, we have the point of control. We have price breaking out from the point of control, trying to look for a new level, okay? And then, we sort of like understand it is actually trying to play around this zone, you see, around this zone. So we are trying to make money from price acceptance, where the price is going to be accepted back to the point of control. That is the main hypothesis. So this is what I call agreeable rotation model. This is what I use to teach you guys how to trade, how do I place trade every time in the live stream. So there you go. Now, if you really want to know the detail, the calculation, everything, or you need a trading partner to guide you through the idea behind the trade, well, feel free to contact Grace. Feel free to contact our customer service, where we will share with you guys more detail about our VIP group. Last but not least, guys, the trading podcast is going smooth. We are setting our very own um, podcast channel. It's called RX Podcast Channel, and we're gonna talk about trading psychology. We're gonna talk about, you know, different kind of stuff. We're gonna talk about trading mindset. We even gonna do some live trading together, between me, Prem, and Alan. Okay, so looking forward, for you guys to give us a feedback and what is your thought about our podcast. Okay, so right now, you know, really good. What a good start of the day, and yeah. So the question would be, is the buyer still strong? Is the seller still strong? Well, here's the thing. The seller is still strong until buyer prove to us that the buyer is weakening. Okay? So right now we don't have any sign of buyer is defending yet. Okay, we don't have any sign of buyer defending. So for me, I'm still gonna see and watch how this position being rolled out. So right now, still no sign of buyer defending, which means that it still have, that kind of selling power, being distributed in this particular zone right here. Okay. So would I do anything? Would I hold this position? Yes, I will still hold this position. Okay. Until it reaches this level right here, which is 5,153, then I will see how does the buyer actually react to, the how does it actually react to this level, and I will make a decision whether to really take the profit and go or to arrange for a break even. So, yep, um, still no signs of strong buying signal from the seller. Let's take a look at the 30 minutes charts to see if we have any strong signs of. Nope. Still really powerful selling signal. Distribution power being shown by the seller. Okay, so what we do now is simple because obviously we're making good money. We're making some good profit here right now, and the edge is on our side. But right now, what we want to ask ourselves is, the opposite power is forming. Based on what I see from the macro point of view, let's take a look at the 1 hour. We still have, we still have plenty of room to make money. So I'm going to hold this position. It is a really good trade. And it actually shows you why, we want to, use a higher time frame as a reference point so that you understand that what is actually going on in the big picture. That's a really good trade, guys. This is a really good trade. Okay, guys, I've actually changed my mind. Okay, I've changed my mind. Just to really show you guys, just to show you guys the joy, the potential, the happiness of, becoming a retail trader. So is am I going to like keep on holding this position? Well, based on the whole setup, I'm gonna I'm gonna hold it definitely. But due to, due to a small sense of encouragement, I want to show you what is possible, for a retail trader. How much money can we actually make when you understand, when you really understand the mechanics behind a trade. So right now, I'm going to close this position before the session end. We still have 7 minutes, and I want to show you in 3, 2, 1, close. Guys, there you go. So today, I show you on the live stream, we managed to deposit, you know, $3,000 into this account back at 2nd of March, okay, which is a week ago. And then we started off with some losing streak. The first few trade was not really good. We got a glimpse of it. And then we finally, you know, got to make some really nice profit right here. Okay. So yes, it is a higher lot size, but still it is a really good trade. Now, right now, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to open a second position with a lower lot size, okay, just to ride that wave, okay? So guys, thank you very much for being a part of my trading journey. And I really hope that during this 2 hour live stream, you guys learn something about option market theory. You guys learn something about the beauty and the art of retail trading. And I wish you the best of luck in trading. And remember, only trade, invest in the money that you're willing to lose. Okay, for example, I'm using a higher lot size for this account because this is actually only like 0.1% of my entire portfolio. It is an experimental account for me to really, try to have some fun with you guys during the live stream. So I'm prepared to lose all the $3,000. That is why I'm using higher lot size. So for you guys, if you're trading alone, make sure to really follow the rules that I taught you in the group, follow the rules that I taught you in the live stream, and really, guys, just have fun learning and master the art of trading together as a community. If you guys want to learn more about, if you guys want to learn more about trading, just feel free to contact Grace, feel free to contact our customer service, and to understand more about trading, about RX community. So right now, we're looking at, I closed my position here, which is I closed it at 5159. So around 5159 is I close it. Okay. So the next thing would be if the market actually start to, penetrate and start to form, show me a second sign of strong seller, I will enter a second trade, a second position, maybe somewhere around here. Okay, but we'll take a look. So I might open a second position, but for the first position, I'm okay with it. I'm happy to really take the profit and run. And yeah, guys, thank you very much for joining our live stream today. My name is CG, and I wish you the best of luck in trading and a great week ahead. Happy trading and profit in peace. So, coming up next for today, we still have two teachers for the London and New York session. Okay, so we have Prem and we have Alan. So Alan is going to be here from 5 to 7 p.m. and Prem is going to be here from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. And they are very experienced trader. I wish that you guys can actually benefit from their live stream as much as you benefit from mine. So guys, without further ado, thank you very much for investing 2 hours of your time, and I'll see you tomorrow. Peace out.